Christmas is coming. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Let's Get Kraken podcast, when I can say it. Just hopping right into it. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate when you come back to hang out with me with yarny content. And if you are new here, hi, I'm Eden. I'm the owner of Kraken, where I sell handmade treasures such as progress keepers, hand-dyed yarn, and my own pattern designs. You can find me on Instagram as Crafting Kraken. You can also find me and my patterns on Lovecrafts and Payhip. And if you are new, do consider subscribing if you enjoy the podcast, because that is always really appreciated. It helps me get my podcast out to more viewers who might enjoy my yarny content. Okay. As I sit here, I just realized I forgot to bring something, but we'll get to that near the end of the podcast. I will cut and go get it. I have works in progress, one finished object, an acquisition, and some new colorways that just came to the shop. I forgot to grab the colorways, but that's okay. If you saw the beginning clip of the podcast, just today, my mom put up a Christmas tree because we move in 2 weeks to our new home in the Caribou. And it's going to be a lot to unpack the house and get it comfortable and stuff. So before you judge that it's November, we are going to lose a lot of our December. So we decided that it'd be great to put up the Christmas tree, have a little bit of Christmas spirit, get into the mood, and enjoy it so that we can just get into Christmas a little bit easier when we're ready in the new house. I think November, yes, it is early. It is not December yet. But November is a great time to slowly ease into the Christmas stuff and prepare, like do your Christmas shopping or knit your gift knits. I say November is a great month to do that. So when December hits, and say you're somebody who waits till after American Thanksgiving to get into Christmas, it's not so overwhelming. Because when Christmas is overwhelming, then you don't enjoy it as much. I just wanted to put that out there before you're like, it's November. Shush. We're being prepared. We're being smart. I'm sorry, I love you, but Christmas is my favorite time of year. I'm so excited to get into the holiday spirit. I've got a new mug here. It's just a really simple snowman. I got him from the dollar store. He's super cute. I have a peppermint mocha in here. Well, an English breakfast tea with peppermint mocha creamer. And it is delicious. It is very cold now, so it's really just getting into the mood. There's no snow here. It's frosted over quite a few times, and that looks really pretty. But we will be moving into Winter Wonderland. I've been babbling so much, you're probably like, Eden, I'm here for the yarn. I'll talk more about life stuff afterwards. Okay, so my finished object is not here. But I did take a little video, and we will cut that into here. So here I have my finished Crunckle Socks that I made for my hairdresser as a thank you. I used the colorway Early Riser from a homespun house, and I knit them on size 2.25 millimeter needles, US 1s. I really loved this pattern. It was so easy and so mindless, and the colorways matched up perfectly. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I finished up those socks. She really liked them. And it feels good to get that off the needles. It was such a fun pattern. I loved it so much. Okay, I should talk about what I'm wearing. on my head to cover up my crazy hair. Sorry. I have my Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague, but my husband knit this for me out of Knit Circus yarn, Twitter pated on trampoline base. I think that's what it was. It was 75-25 fingering. So it started at the green, and it went into cream, blue, and purple. It's really cozy. He used 2.75 millimeter needles, which is, got my needle thing here, US 2. And it still needs to be blocked. I just haven't done it yet. I keep wearing it and being like, oh, I gotta block this, but it's so cozy. I love it. And it's finally cold enough that I can wear it, which makes me very happy. Yeah, so if you don't know what the Musselburgh is, it was a very popular pattern last year, and it's still a popular pattern right now. It is where you knit a hat, you start at the crown, and then you knit long enough for it to be 2 hats, and then you decrease and do the same on the other end so that you can have a double thick hat. I'll wear it this way. So yeah, it just needs to be blocked. But it's so cozy. I knit him one for Christmas or his birthday, whatever, for last winter season. And so I said, oh, this is a fantastic beginner's pattern. The cast on is a little tricky. I like to fold it up a little bit, so I have a very thick brim. It's good to keep the wind out of your ears. But yes, this pattern is a really good beginner's pattern. You would probably need help if you're a beginner knitter, or they would need help if you want to recommend it to somebody. On the cast on, it's a little tricky, but once you get past that, it's just knitting, and the decreases are very easy. So highly recommend it as actually a gift knit, or as a beginner pattern that you want to get into. And then the shawl, I'm all over the place today. Sorry. That just adds to the fun. This is my wedding shawl that I knit last year. It's always funny to think about. Oh, there we go. This is the 2018 Advent shawl by Molly Klatt of A Homespun House. And what I did was I knit this holding fingering and mohair. The main color was Stormy Weather from Tofino Knit Co. on her Surf Singles base. It was beautiful silver. And then I changed the color of the mohairs to make it into this fade. I couldn't tell you what the mohairs were though. It's a great pattern. I love it so much. It's really cozy and it wraps around your neck nicely. I find that it's really easy to wear. You can even like tie up the ends so that it doesn't come off on you. There we go. Yeah, these are probably 2 of my favorite things to wear in the cold weather. So that's what I'm wearing. Okay, works in progress. We will get into that. Let's start with one. I thought this was going to be a finished object. I really did. I tried. But unfortunately, I didn't make it. I almost did. But here is my almost done halibut sweater. So I decided to put short sleeves on it, which is why it's almost done. Yeah, so this is the halibut sweater by Caitlin Hunter, or Boylan Knitworks. It is a marvelous DK weight sweater. I'm knitting this with Tofino Knit Co.'s DK Lighthouse Tweed in the colors Joseph Dreaming for the contrast color. Here it is. This is what I have left from that. And then the main color is "My soul does magnify the Lord." These were a part of her Nativity Advent last year. And I saw those colors and I asked if she would dye me up a sweater quantity in exchange for making progress keepers. So this is it. Oh, I love it so much. It's gonna be big and cozy, and I really don't mind the short sleeves because I have a theory. I change body temperature drastically because of sweaters and hats and shawls. Like, it doesn't take much to keep me warm, and then it doesn't take much for me to get cold. So my thought was, for this sweater, I'm gonna have the short sleeves. It is a thick DK weight sweater. The colorwork makes it really cushy and thick. I say thick a lot for this sweater. So my thought was, if I have short sleeves, then the body is keeping me warm, but having my arms clear, uncovered, hopefully that helps me to kind of maintain a normal body temperature. And this is something that annoys my husband a lot, is I will wear a sweater or a cardigan because I'm cold, and then I will get hot and I will take it off and I'll just place it on a chair or something. But then later on, I'm cold again. So I grab a new hoodie, sweater, or cardigan to put on, and repeat the cycle for days on end. And so I have sweaters and cardigans and hoodies everywhere. So I'm thinking that this sweater might solve that problem. It's an experiment. But also, I don't have enough yarn to do full sleeves. This is my last skein of my main color. I'm using it to finish up the body. And the only option I would have is trying to color block the sleeves with my contrast color. And I didn't really feel like doing that. The look didn't excite me. So the short sleeves were the best option. The only thing that went wrong with the sweater, and I didn't realize it until now, is when I was looking at the needles for the sleeves. Oh, what needles do I need? I realized that I never changed to larger needles. So I've knit this entire sweater in the ribbon needle. Oh boy. I don't know how that happened. I really don't. But I'm really glad of it because my colorwork stitches are much larger than my regular knit stitches. And if I had knit the colorwork in the larger needles, my colorwork would have been huge and meshy, and I wouldn't have enjoyed that. So that was kind of a mistake that was a blessing in disguise. So it's almost done, and I'm okay with knitting the entire thing in smaller needles. It's too late now. So I was hoping that could be a finished object for this sweater. I've just got the ribbing and the cast off to do, but casting off the body of the sweater takes a while. So I was like, I'm just gonna film a podcast and it'll be a finished object next week. And it'll be blocked. And I will wear it. So that works out well. I'm trying to drink my tea while it's still warm. I'm gonna keep chit-chatting about stuff and it's gonna go cold. Okay, so next work in progress is one that I've been working on quite a bit. This is a new cast on. So this is a hat for my father-in-law for Christmas that I'm working away on. That is really squishy and fun. This is a progress keeper that Amy Kate of the Graceful Tangle made me in our last Advent exchange. So this is the classic ribbed beanie by Pearl Soho, and it's a simple DK weight ribbed beanie on, I'm using needles, it's a free pattern. I'm using size US 3, 3.25 millimeter needles, and I'm holding fingering double. I have, this is a Crunckle sock in the colorway Cowboy Colors, and then I'm using a Cascade 220, I think that's what it's called. It's a Cascade fingering. I can't remember what the color was, but it's a dark chocolate color. I'm just holding those double. These are both leftovers that I had in my stash that I thought would make a really rich brown beanie. And it's fun to see because you can see the light, dark. Yeah, so I've just been working away. It takes a while to do one by one ribbing. You can see, this side. But it's super squishy, and I know it's gonna be nice and warm for the winter time. I'm trying to whip this out so I can give all the Christmas knits I've made for my in-laws and in-law siblings, my in-law family, for Christmas, that I want to have them finish so that I can give them the box of all the Christmas gifts before we move, because they're close by here, but once we move they won't be, so it's a time crunch for these. And I plan to knit my mother-in-law a pair of DK weight socks as well, so I need to get going on gift knits, and that's also why I didn't get this done in time, because I've been getting carried away with the hat. Oh yeah, and that was an anniversary cake for the Kraken Made shop a couple years ago. So that's my other work in progress. I feel like I should say more about that, but it's a ribbed hat. It's a free pattern. I'll link it down below. All the patterns I talk about, I will link down below. And I'm just keeping that in a bag from Two Sticks and You, EWE. It was handmade in the Okanagan, which is an area in British Columbia where I live. It's very cute. And it's a great bag for a hat in there, or a couple socks actually. It works well for that too. And then, I just brought the yarn. I was going to cast it on today, but it's like, I should just podcast, but I will show you the yarn. I'm going to be knitting another pair of DK weight socks from Kay the Crazy Sock Lady with this. I'll be holding fingering double. And this is Turkey Coma from Dragon Horde Yarn. I thought it was very seasonally appropriate. Okay, so I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm sorry if I am. I'm excited to get this podcast in. I'm also kind of jittery from both the coffee and the black tea I've had this morning. And then all the moving stuff has been a lot. It's been overwhelming, but we do a little bit at a time and we will be ready for the move, hopefully. Yeah. Okay. The other work in progress is I've done very little work on this, but I would like to show you anyways. This is my sweater design. I don't know where my swatch went of this, but you could kind of see it now. That I have put in almost a full cable into the body of this sweater. This sweater has been set aside for two reasons. I don't have the brain space to work on a pattern at the moment because I have to remember what I've done and write it down. I just want to have stuff that I can just knit away and not think about it. But I do love it. Did I say 2 reasons? Yeah, the other reason is that I have a ton of gift knits going on at the same time that I'm wanting to get done as quickly as possible. Yeah, but here it is. So this is my own sweater design I've been working on. I've been doing the course with Megan of Pip and Pin, and it's been fantastic. It's been really helpful. Yeah. So that is the cable in there. These are I totally lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Anyway, this sweater is a design that I'm planning to release probably next year, given the amount of time it's taken to do this much work on it. But I really love it. And it is based off of the socks that I designed last year to wear at my wedding. It was the I Do socks, and it had these ring cables in there. So once it's done, these will connect and it'll look like rings that have been interwoven. I'm calling this the interlock sweater so far. It's got a little color work and the cables. Yeah. And the colors are my own hand-dyed yarn in the colorways Chocolate and Little Cuttlefish in Whirlpool DK. So I did a little work on it, and I've just been keeping it in my cozy up bag. But I hope you're just as excited as I am for this sweater. I never really thought I would get into garment knitting. It seemed very scary. But it's not. It really isn't. And it's very enjoyable to do. But I'll talk about this more as it goes on, to tell you about the construction and the needles and the techniques I use, because it is still in very early stages. Okay, so those are my works in progress that are going to be mainly worked on, except for my sweater design. That'll probably be put away until after the move so that I can have the brain space to get into that, hopefully. But anyway, those are what I'm working on, and I will probably have a couple finished objects next time. It'll be just before we move in the next episode, which is crazy. It's crazy. And I also decided that I am going to do Vlogmas. Is that a crazy thing to do amidst moving and the holiday season? Probably. But I feel like it'll help me to just stay focused, I guess is the best way to put it. And I want to take you along on the journey. It'll be a very interesting Vlogmas. There will be no days that will be probably short videos. Who knows? I usually get quite tired by the end of Vlogmas. But I want to take you guys along on the journey in all that life stuff. And speaking of Vlogmas and the holiday season, I received my advent calendar for this year. So let me just open it up to show you the inside. So this will be our second year doing this. I have done a advent scrap swap with Amy Kate of the Graceful Tangle. So what we do is throughout the year we save our scraps, and I make 20 gram minis usually out of fingering weight yarn, because that's just the easiest and probably the most amount of scraps of that weight I have. And when Christmas comes around, we take 24 minis and a full skein of yarn and we trade them. So this is mine from her. There's a card here for December 1st. And there is all these minis and bags. Oh, I'm so excited. And so far, for all the Advents I've had, I make a blanket. This year I'm going to crochet it because that is a quick way, and I'm going to do a big granny square because that is easy for my brain, and also it's very enjoyable. I really enjoy doing granny squares. So I will have that as my project to take along with me. I'm taking it like in my suitcase to while we move. It's not going to get packed up on me, so I'm going to keep up with that. And then to make it really fancy, I have some undyed Surrey alpaca that I'm going to hold with the minis. It's such a fancy blanket. I feel so fancy. This is undyed. I might dye it with a little light gray, like a light gray. I don't know. Let me know what you think. If I should leave it undyed and hold it with the minis. It's a very light cream color, but I think it might look better if I dyed it a little bit of a silver. I don't know. Let me know what you think, because I really can't decide. So that will be my Advent project. I'm really excited for that. I'm really glad to be able to do this with her. She's so sweet. She has an awesome podcast and lots of tutorials and reviews on yarns. She is the go-to person for yarn knowledge. I'm just here to be weird and entertaining, really. I guess we are definitely opposites, but I think that makes it so much fun I love watching her podcast, and I love seeing her videos because she's so knowledgeable and really smart. More smart than I, for sure. Yeah, so I'm very grateful to be able to do that. Okay, so last but certainly not least, we are going to get into some new colorways that just came to the shop on theme with the holiday season. Okay, so I did a collection of Christmas colorways called the Vintage Holiday Card Collection, all based off of Victorian Christmas cards that are so cool. Okay, I was so excited about this. I saw these cards and I was like, I want to do colorways after them. These are going to be my Christmas specials, and I slightly want to just dye them forever. But we'll see. Okay, so first off, we have Ribbit the New Year. So this is going to be a New Year's themed colorway, and it is after this little card here. It's a frog popping champagne for the new year. There's little mushrooms around. He's got the champagne glasses. He's a very classy frog. And this is the colorway that I did. Here, I'm going to undo it so that you can see it in all its glory. So there's pops of light green, dark green, brown, red and pink, blue, and a little bit of gold specks here and there. You can see right there. So this is it's casually Christmas. I mean, it's a New Year's colorway, but it has that slight holiday season look. It's very faint. It's not like in your face Christmas. I do like in your face Christmas stuff, which is weird to say. But this one I find is very pale and sweet. I really like it. Okay, the next one we have is Krampus. So if you don't know, there is an old German legend of Krampus where if you were a naughty child, instead of getting coal in your stocking, Krampus would come and kidnap you and take you to his lair. Which is absolutely terrifying. That's terrifying. This girl's like, I don't care, take my brother. He's mean. But I made this colorway for people who were kind of missing that Halloween vibe, or if you just really like Krampus. That's some. So this one is not Christmassy at all, but it's a beautiful mix of blue and black speckles with a little bit of red in there. The red speckles kind of like branch out to be pink. Then it's got a nice gold background. There's some good speckling in there. Look at that. This one is so much fun. I love it. It's not Christmas, but it is. Oh, and all of these will be on my doubloon sock base, which is an 80-20 blend of merino and nylon, fingering weight. And then last but certainly not least, I love this one. This is Santa Wears Blue. And if you don't know, Santa traditionally, well, St. Nicholas, the original, traditionally wore a brown suit in pictures because he was a saint, or not a monk, but that type of thing. And over the years, it kind of changed. It went brown, it went tan, it was blue or green. And when Coca-Cola started advertising Santa in their ads for the... Sorry, my stomach's growling. Should have eaten something before I podcast, baby. But yeah, Coca-Cola changed Santa's suit to red, and that's when it stuck. Back in the early 1930s or 40s, I think. I may be wrong about that. I'm sorry. I don't know the exact dates, but Coca-Cola is the reason Santa wears a red suit. In this vintage holiday card, Santa wears a blue suit. And I thought it was so pretty. And look at that cute little tree and all the toys. Santa looks good in blue. So I dyed a colorway after that. So we have the main blue after his suit. And then we've got little pops of colors, little speckles. I did my best to do light speckling for these colorways. You still have bunches in there. Oh, I love that. You got red, green, yellow. You just make such a happy, oh, this is so good. Happy colorway. What I love about these colorways is that they're not crazy Christmassy. They are, but sorry, my stomach's throwing me off. I'm sorry. I will eat something right after this. But as you can see from them, they're not crazy Christmassy, but they do have Christmas in them. You know it. This one is kind of the most Christmassy out of the bunch. So if you knit a pair of socks, say you do a New Year's Eve socks, you could wear these throughout the year and they wouldn't seem odd. You could save them for just the holiday season, but these are colorways that I wanted to be Christmassy, but you could wear them all year round without it being weird. So that is the Vintage Holiday Card Collection. It is available in the shop now. You can go and order it. I highly recommend you order within the week of this podcast coming out, because I will be closing down the shop during the move. And if you want these in time for Christmas, now is the best time, because it is going to get super busy and the mail is going to get overrun with packages from everybody online Christmas shopping. And it's Black Friday weekend, at least here it is in Canada, BC. At least all the stores I've seen have been like, oh, we're gonna do an early Black Friday stuff. So it's gonna get crazy. I highly recommend you do your yarn shopping now if you'd like it in time for Christmas. Yeah, so a little life stuff. I kind of talked about it mostly in the beginning of the podcast, but we are moving in 2 weeks from our home here on Vancouver Island to our new home in the Caribou. I'm moving with my family. Me and my husband are moving with my parents and my brothers. Just because we can't afford to live on Vancouver Island. It's too expensive. So we thought we would go with them. And that is such a blessing to be able to go with my parents and to live in a beautiful home that we all fit in. And it's such a gift. So I'm very excited. I spent most of my childhood growing up in the Caribou, and specifically in the town that we're moving to. I spent a lot of my childhood growing up there. And so going back is really cool. It's kind of scary, to be honest. I've never moved back to a place before. I've moved a lot in my lifetime, but I've never moved back to a place. So it's going to be interesting. And we get a white Christmas, which is, I'm so happy. I miss the snow so much. It just fills my heart with joy to be able to have a white Christmas and all that snow. It's going to have its challenges, of course, but I'm very excited to have snow again. So yeah, we move in 2 weeks. We will be, the house will be packed up by the time I start Vlogmas. So we're just going to be jumping right into the adventure. Yeah, we're working on decluttering and organizing and just trying to get the house ready because we're having packers come and pack up the house. So that is a blessing that we don't have to do it within 2 weeks because that would take forever. Yeah, so just doing it one day at a time. That is the biggest thing happening in life right now. And yeah, like I said, I will be closing the shop for a couple weeks while we move. Just so that that's one less thing on my plate during that. And it would be really hard to ship anything because my stock would be packed up in a moving truck. But I will be back later in December to have lots of things. But I think I will have one more shop update before I close it down. I think I'm going to paint some more progress keepers to have. That'll be fun. Oh, and I will be dyeing up some sock blanks. Yeah. Probably get into that pretty soon. Because I got sock blanks to dye. I'm really excited about that. That's life. That really is life. I'm moving. That's the quick explanation of how crazy life is going to be and is already. That's okay. Yeah. That's really life stuff. I don't do life stuff very often, mainly because I have a very quiet life most of the time. So life stuff right now is a little bit busier, so I can talk about it. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the podcast, please consider subscribing. It helps me grow my podcast and reach out to other people on the YouTube forum to communicate about yarn. And I don't know, it always means a lot. It really boosts my confidence when you guys subscribe. It means a whole lot. And if you liked this podcast, and do comment down below. Introduce yourself. Talk about yarn. Let me know what you're knitting. And yeah. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever time it is there. I hope it is full of yarny goodness and joy. And I will see you next time. Bye.